Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Forever United TV, the 3rd of June. What a night it was last night. We're waking up this morning with excitement and enthusiasm looking ahead to Manchester United's next season. Let's not forget the fixtures are coming out quite soon, actually, in a couple of weeks' time. So all of a sudden now Manchester United are making moves in the transfer market. Like we seen last night with the confirmation that Bryan Mbeumo is now officially in talks with Manchester United, we can get a little bit more upbeat about the future of this football club. About 2 weeks ago, it was doom and gloom, and all of a sudden, a couple of moves in the transfer market has left us all a little bit more upbeat, it would seem. A little update on the Bryan Mbeumo situation and where we're at with that. Florian Plettenberg has come out with a significant update this morning already on this, so more positive news to come out for you all, and we'll get through that in a moment. I want to talk about the outgoings and what the Daily Mail and Simon Jones was saying late last night as well in players that are leaving Manchester United. We heard the story regarding Rasmus Højlund. We've got an update on Rasmus Højlund. Obviously, we know about Garnacho and what's happening there. A little update on Jadon Sancho, and of course, obviously, you've got Garnacho, you've got Mainoo, and an Andre Onana update. Now, I'm not going to get too excited about that one just yet. I can't have too much happen in the space of 24 hours to give me encouragement. I'll accept what happened last night and I'll just run with that for a few days, I think. But to kick things off, obviously, the big news last night was Bryan Mbeumo. How Manchester United now afford what players we need going forward is going to come in the exit list and what Man United can make from sales. But just to go over everything that is happening with Bryan Mbeumo at the moment, we do have an update, a significant update from Florian Plettenberg, like I just said, which reads: Manchester United want to start negotiations with Brentford shortly in order to finalise a deal for Bryan Mbeumo. The player has already given his approval. A verbal agreement is done. United optimistic that the transfer will go through. It would be their second statement signing in attack after Matheus Cunha. So the key line in that one is the middle one there, which Florian Plettenberg has said, which is the player has already verbally agreed with Manchester United. This deal is done. No, I'm not going to say that actually, but the way that Manchester United have operated, I feel more confident in saying that in a joking term. The Bryan Mbeumo bomber that came last night, nobody expected it. No, we all thought that it would happen, obviously, after what I said, because you all believe in what I say, of course. I'm joking. I'm still laughing from last night, to be honest. But no, I looked at the significant movement. I looked at what I was said. I looked at what happened with Delap, and I broke it down last night pretty much why I was confident that something would happen with Mbeumo. I had a feeling that something was going to break. I honestly didn't expect it to come as significant as it did, and this started to move as quickly as it has. But in terms of the Bryan Mbeumo situation and the other football clubs, there was another story going around, just to keep you updated, that he wanted and told Newcastle representatives that he wanted to quadruple his wages. And now you're thinking, oh God, here we go again. Manchester United quadrupling a player's wages just to get him in. Isn't this the same mistake we made before? Well, you can always say that he wanted that, but he never get that. It's usually less than that. And the fact that he's only on approximately 45 grand a week wages at Brentford kind of tells you that there's room. And Manchester United, like I've always said, not many people like to listen to the boring stuff, but Manchester United's squad to wage ratio is better than any other big club in the Premier League. In fact, we are 17th, 18th, I think, in the table in terms of how much revenue we get and generate and how much of that is spent on wages. Other clubs don't have the power that United have because of our wage revenue ratio. And that is definitely something that is going to come into Manchester United's favour when we're negotiating personal terms. The fact that Plettenberg has said verbal agreement done is there is a general sort of consensus, I would think, that the wages and the structure, the contract, even Nicolas Shearer, a journalist who covers Manchester United from Italy, sounds strange I know, but he does a lot of United transfer stuff. He has come out this morning and said that a deal, personal terms, have been agreed already on a 5-year deal with a 1-year option extension, which is pretty much the norm right now. So two journalists have come out already this morning and said that verbal and personal agreements are in place, that being Plettenberg and Nicolas Shearer. So that you could probably take as another confidence boost in that this deal is going to be getting done. There was one story going in last night that was saying that Brentford are unaware of anything going on. I think it was Jason Burt who brought it out. And I think, to be honest, when I'm looking at journalists, and we can always say who we trust more and why they might say something, yeah, there probably is an element of Brentford that was shocked by what happened last night. But not everybody at football clubs knows the same that somebody else might know. So someone higher up may have just given David Ornstein that go-ahead, or a representative of Bryan Mbeumo would have given David Ornstein that go-ahead to go and break everything last night. But when you get David Ornstein, Fabrizio Romano, followed him by Florian Plettenberg, coming out all saying the same thing, and Sky Sports, Damashef saying the same thing on top as well, I'm pretty confident who I would trust and believe in this. And this deal is wrapped up, it would seem, in terms of personal terms. Not yet with the agreement with Brentford. So it's all on the fee. In fact, Jason Burt, who was trying to play this down, came out with a comment, one source saying from Brentford, said it would be very embarrassing for Manchester United if this deal didn't get agreed now. Look, United haven't come out and said anything. And so where these journalists are coming from is kind of, I think, personal agenda driven sometimes. Why would you bring something up about United? Ornstein broke this news. United haven't said anything or have done anything wrong here. They probably already have spoken with Brentford, like we've said and reported. So, yeah, I just think there's a lot of lashing out at the moment, and nobody expected Manchester United to do what they're doing. And let's be honest, a lot of journalists need Manchester United to be running themselves through the mud just to make stories these days. So, yeah, filling columns and getting clicks is what a lot of journalists are about. But when the significant ones come out, like I just said there and named off, you can usually take it as this deal is moving forward. And all of the words from the real important journalists that have been on top of this so far have said that this is moving fast and United are not hanging around with this deal. So expect a proposal, an official proposal to Brentford from Manchester United, like Ben Jacobs said last night, to happen in the next coming days. It's going to be a busy week for Manchester United, and we love that. We like the sound of that, don't we, everybody? So yes, still riding a high from that. Adam Fab saying Bruno staying, breaking. Is that actually breaking? Has that actually come out? I need to double check this now, actually. Someone has just informed me that this is actually happening. I don't know if it is true or not yet. I've not seen anything. Florian Plettenberg has said something. Just checking through news on this one. Bruno Fernandes stays at Manchester United. Decision made. Bruno stays. Bruno stays. Bruno stays. Everybody, it is breaking news right now. I'm just talking about Bryan Mbeumo, and then bang, in comes another absolute bombshell. Thank you for that one, Carl Buddy, for informing me. I'm getting carried away with Bryan Mbeumo, but huge breaking news right here on Forever United TV this morning, everybody, is that Bruno Fernandes has rejected Al Hilal's proposal. He is staying at Manchester United. It is official. Bruno is going to be part of this new redevelopment of Manchester United's squad. Fabrizio Romano, the man himself, has broke the news this morning in the last few moments' time, in the last few minutes, in fact. This is massive for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes is going to be part of everything that is going on at Manchester United. I'm just going to pop this in now, actually. I just need to do some messing around. 1 second, everybody. Just a little bit crazy right now. I can't believe what's happening while I've been away. This is absolute... this is carnage. I can't believe it. Wow. Right, let's just get through all of this. Just off the back of, obviously, everything that's going on with Manchester United and the transfers coming in. I'm just reading through it all now just to bring you up to date on everything. It is simple. Let me just get Romano's tweet up. Right, okay, so this is the exact words from Fabrizio Romano in the last 10 minutes. Exclusive, Bruno Fernandes has rejected Al Hilal's proposal. Despite crazy contract proposal from the Saudi Pro League club, Bruno Fernandes wants to continue playing football in Europe. Man United captain wants to play at a top level in Europe. Decision made. You could argue top level football at Manchester United isn't there yet, but clearly what Ruben has said and what he was sort of teeing us up for in terms of what these deals were and what was going to be happening. Right now, obviously, it looks like getting Cunha in, getting Mbeumo in. This has, in fact, been what Ruben was talking about. All the changes that are coming and significant changes that are coming are now here, and Bruno Fernandes is part of that as well. He is now officially Manchester United, and he's staying. Bruno Fernandes, the captain of the football club, staying at Manchester United. That's the biggest breaking news again so far today. I'm struggling to keep up with it all right now, but it's exciting times. So you're going to have a forward line now of Bruno Fernandes, Matheus Cunha, Bryan Mbeumo, and another striker to come in. This is absolutely massive. It's huge right now. And yes, just when I think I was just going to be talking down the lines of a straightforward, bigging up last night transfer show and things actually moving forward, Bryan Mbeumo, Bruno has come and top trumped him. And yes, here we go. It is happening. Bruno is staying. 100% Manchester United convinced of the project. Bruno Fernandes is a red still, and that deal has been rejected. Let me know what you think about that in the comments section. There'll be a lot of Man United fans that are not completely happy with Bruno Fernandes staying. I know that because not many are convinced, but Bruno with better players around him, you surely have to look at that and say that this is something that could still work for Manchester United significantly. Super chat in from Dwayne says, he saw Mbeumo and Cunha and turned around. I think that is exactly, like I just said there, Dwayne, what happened. Bruno stays, everybody. If you are just joining in, Bruno is staying at Manchester United. Romano has dropped that news on top of everything else that we've got going on right now. Thank you, Carl, for giving me that update on that one as well. Bruno has rejected Al Hilal. Another comment in there from Muriki. Dwayne's comment there about seeing the signings of Mbeumo and Cunha and turning round. SK in with a super chat says that we got the cash from Russia and Ghana coming. We should still be able to get a striker, CDM and goalkeeper. Happy either way. Though next season some might cry about Bruno staying. I think they'll cry now, to be honest, but still, I think it's great news for Manchester United. It just means that we are being massively proactive right now in the market, and we are keeping our best player as well and our captain. So really, when you look at the professionalism of what Ruben was saying about Bruno Fernandes and him wanting the standards to be a lot higher than what they was, they want Manchester United to be a different club and run completely different next season. Bruno there, Cunha there, and Mbeumo there. All of a sudden, you're starting to gather a lot more leaders on the pitch. So if you're looking at Bruno on the pitch, Ahmad on the pitch, and Mbeumo, Matheus Cunha, you buy another striker in, then you've got Matthias de Ligt, you've got Yoro at the back. You can see where I'm going with this, can't you? Like 3/4 of Manchester United's starting lineup obviously now look completely different. It's looking like an actual side here. So this is really significant, massively significant. Let's just say Bruno said no to Saudi, not yes to United. He said yes to United. He's staying at United because no one else can afford him, man. It's as simple as that, I think, mate. He never wanted to leave United. Never wanted to leave United. Everyone mourning Bruno staying. What if he only wanted to leave for Madrid or something? Who would only offer 40 million? Be happy we've kept our best player. Yeah, Bruno had to leave for a certain amount of money. And that's it. Simple as. Bruno plays better with technically good players. Yes, look at him and what he does in that team in Portugal. That I think is massive and substantial, I feel. Let's not forget, Bruno has been working with a bunch of players that have been underperforming for years. Well, Bruno has been holding up his end. Now, I understand that Bruno isn't everybody's cup of tea, and Bruno has had bad games himself, but Bruno is brave. And if you add better players and better quality around him, you've seen what he can do for Portugal. You've seen what capabilities he has got. And this, I think, is absolutely massive for Manchester United now, because you're adding this professionalism to Manchester United's side. And I think this is just going to change the way that Manchester United actually play football. I feel like now Manchester United with Bruno Fernandes, let's just say Bruno Fernandes, you've got Matheus Cunha, you've got Bryan Mbeumo, a striker coming in, you've got Ahmad there, like I said, Yoro, de Ligt at the back, Heaven coming through. We can get that midfield sorted now. I feel like Manchester United right now, we're looking at we're looking at, with Bruno there and the players that we're looking to bring in, I think we're definitely nailed on for 6. This is how significant this Bruno news is as well for me. I think with United actually now, I feel, I'm just looking at it now, I'm just trying to figure out in my own head how this is going to set up, because this definitely means, and this is where the argument for Bruno staying might come in with a lot of people, but Bruno Fernandes staying now means he's going to play at 8. He is going to play at 8. We know he is going to play at 8 now for this. When you look at, yeah, so it's going to be, and this just adds intrigue to the actual player outgoing lists now, doesn't it? Because if you say that Bruno's a 10, so this pretty much pushes Ahmad into right wing back for sure, definitely. Bruno drops in at 8. If we can sell players, do we actually go in and buy another 8 now? Or is this the plan all along? Convince Bruno to stay, bringing in 2 10s. Bruno now stays at 8 alongside Casemiro, Ugarte, whoever it is. It may even be Kobbie Mainoo. And then we go out and spend the rest of our money on a top striker. I don't see Man United bringing in a right wing back at all now. I really don't. Because you think, like, we're not going to sell Mason Mount. Mason Mount's going to be an option on a reserve 10. So is Joshua Zirkzee. And this is with me planning on Garnacho going as well. And so in the 10s, you've got Mbeumo, you've got Cunha, you've got Mount, you've got Zirkzee. You've got Ahmad and Bruno to cover him whenever you need anyway, and if you wanted to mix it up a little bit. We need a striker, obviously. That's got to be where the next big chunk of change is spent, I feel, now. Because without a striker, this kind of falls on its face a little bit, because we cannot play Joshua Zirkzee in at number 9. But this now, and do you know what? I remember doing a video a while ago, I think it was a couple of months ago, maybe 3 months ago now, about the plan and possibility of Ahmad. And you will all remember it, so look back on the channel, Ahmad being a permanent right wing back for Manchester United. That, I think, is now looking likely. I'm looking at that and going, that's definitely, yeah. Ahmad right wing back, Bruno at 8, Cunha and Mbeumo, Mount, Zirkzee, there's your 10s. Everything now points towards Manchester United making significant movements in the number 9 position. We need to sign a number 9. It's as simple as that. It really is. And I don't think Manchester United are going to hold back in that position either. There is a story going around that Victor Gyökeres is definitely coming to the Premier League now. His decision has been made. What Premier League team that is, I have no idea. But all of a sudden, remember when I said that signing Matheus Cunha and what that will do? That will be the catalyst for Manchester United keeping players, or be it Bruno or whoever, and signing better players. All of a sudden, Bruno was leaving United, and it looked like everyone had given up on the team. Now Bruno's staying, Cunha's signed, and Mbeumo's on his way. This now could appeal to a top striker, and all of a sudden, Manchester United could be in the realms of, bang, an absolutely different starting lineup altogether next season. So to get through a few more of your chats, there's loads piling in right now simply of this breaking news. As if we didn't have enough breaking news already, we've just had the Fabrizio Romano bombshell this morning. The bomber is back, everyone. Bruno Fernandes has decided to stay at Manchester United and reject Al Hilal's offer. He is going to be United captain and see out his contract. I think that is final now. Mainoo will be sold now, I reckon, says Block. This is what we was going to be talking about this morning originally, about the Manchester United exodus. I've had to change the whole script of the show, but it just adds to it, in fact. I'm going to come to that in a minute. I want to give everyone their chance to have their say on this, though, because it is massive. Where will Bruno start? What about Ahmad? I think, Brian, I just covered that there, actually, mate. Good comment, because I was thinking the same as you, Brian, but I think Ahmad at right wing back, Bruno at 8, has to be, because there's no room at 10 now. You're not going to go out and spend over 110 million on 2 10s and not play them. These are Ruben players, by the way, and so Ruben is going to play his players clearly. Kobbie and Ghana are gone for sure. They just are, says Ant. Could well be. Block, Mainoo sold on the back of this news again. It's 2 super chats on that. Thank you, mates. Really appreciate that. Voistra says, morning from cloudy England. I think Bruno was always staying. I think he was just waiting to see Manchester United's transfer moves and how serious they are. This is significant. Funny, thanks for the super sticker. Vlad, how do you say that again? Velakovic. I think that's how you say it. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong again, but thanks for that, buddy. Black Sheep says, Mainu gone now. Ruben chose 31-year-old over Mainu, idiot. No, disagree with that completely. Bruno's our best player. He's probably still got another 3 years in the legs. And to be honest, I would rather have Bruno Fernandes here for 3 years and then hoping that Kobbie Mainoo is going to change his attitude going forward. I've seen loads of people moaning and bitching about this, and you can run whichever narrative you want on which agenda you want to drive with Manchester United, the negative train. Getting rid of Kobbie Mainoo. Is Kobbie all of that? Like, he's a great player and his ceiling is high, but in a Ruben system, you have to make priorities. I'm sorry. And let's be honest, I'm looking at Ahmad at 22, I'm thinking good young player. I'm looking at Heaven, 18, good young player. I'm looking at Yoro, 18, good young player. And so don't come to me and say like that Manchester United are getting rid of all of the younger players and it's the future of Manchester United that we're destroying. No, Manchester United are bringing in a young, Manchester are bringing in a young wing back again in Diego Leon, another teenager. You've got Amas coming through, you've got Chido coming through. You've got plenty of young talent in there. Some just doesn't work out. Young talent doesn't always work out. And sometimes you make a decision for where you are now. And I think Bruno there for another 3 years will definitely help the younger players coming through. It's up to Kobbie now, I think. I don't necessarily feel like Kobbie Mainoo is going to be sold off the back of Bruno staying. I understand what people are saying with that, and the comments coming in on that are definitely, they do carry weight. But what you're also looking at here is it's now down to Kobbie Mainoo to try and fight his way into this side, because you've got Bruno, but who's to say that Manuel Ugarte is a sure starter or Toby Collier is a sure starter for Manchester United? Casemiro's going to be gone next year minimum. So maybe we are looking at Kobbie Mainoo in that 8 role. If he wants to adapt and change, I still don't think he can, but it's up to him at the end of the day. And if he wants to fight and battle out against top professionals for that 10 role, in the likes of Cunha and Mbeumo now, then go for it, Kobbie. Look, agree that deal for Manchester United. Agree the fee, agree the wages, and stay at United. Fight for your place in the side. I don't want him to go. Whether or not this is pushing him out the door is a different debate altogether, because a lot of people are running with that now and thinking that this is what is actually going to happen because we've kept Bruno Fernandes. They had 100 million going in. I have spent 110 on Cunha and Mbeumo. Can still get striker and goalkeeper if Mainoo, Gan and Rashi sold for fair prices. Coming to that in a moment, actually. Muriki says Dorgu and Mbeumo can also play right wing back. This is, I feel, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. I think there's a lot of people making a story about Bruno Fernandes saying he wants to play in a top team in Europe. Look, Manchester United are not selling him to anybody else, I don't think, anyway. Just my own personal opinion on that one. I feel like it's going to be Bruno Fernandes at Manchester United for the forthcoming season. He loves the club. And I think for what Fabrizio Romano has done there is he's covered all bases with the news on Bruno staying, wants to play at a top club in Europe. I don't think it necessarily means that he's going to go to like a Bayern Munich or Barcelona or Real Madrid. I don't think they necessarily need that type of player right now. We'll see. We'll see. Bruno fancies going elsewhere and doesn't stay at Manchester United. We'll see how this window goes. But I don't think Manchester United are going to get any better prices than what Al Hilal was offering. So, no, I think Al Hilal dead in the water now. It'll be interesting to see who they go for now, because that could be Edison gone as well now from Atalanta to Al Hilal, and that takes him off Manchester United's radar completely. Please keep giving the video a like if you haven't already. We have well over 3,000 in the room with us right now. Massive numbers again for the morning show because of this breaking news of Bruno Fernandes staying at Manchester United. Could possibly be going elsewhere, but he's rejected Al Hilal. That's the main news from this, from what Romano has said this morning. As we were live, it broke. Al Hilal is off for Bruno Fernandes. It is as simple as that. It is not happening, everybody. So that is great news for a lot of United fans. Not so great news for some. Obviously, it's a little bit of a, well, let's just say it's a little bit of a, I don't know, it's a 50-50 in it with a lot. Like, you could see the potential in the money that was coming out and being able to be spent, and then you're losing your best playoff. It's both sides of the argument are as equal, I feel. I'm genuinely concerned about Bruno at 8 in the Premier League. He's going to have to be disciplined and change his game himself then as well, if he wants to fit in there, isn't it? It's not about Bruno just going in there and doing Bruno things. Bruno's got to change his game if he wants to play at Man United, particularly with the other players coming in. SK, Cunha and Bryan both are Reds. Bryan has helped us in talks by straight up saying, I want United. We're going to have a good cover between them. Definitely, it has helped. I do agree with that one. Bruno is about a Robson. Bruno is about a Robson moment. Ahmad, right wing back, is good. Bruno is an 8, okay, but he will need to go in the 10 for bigger games for me. That's the thing. Like, is he going to be able to? Is he going to be put in that 10 role? Agate at risk now. Bruno isn't a good partner. I think Agate is more at risk than Bruno Fernandes, and I know Agate is more at risk than Kobbie Mainoo. I feel right now. Let's not forget, Ruben Amorim didn't sign Manuel Agate. He sold Manuel Agate in his time at Sporting. So all of the connection between Agate and Ruben, and we've seen him dropping for a few games already this season as well. So I think Manuel Agate is more at risk in his place in the side. I can't see Agate being sold, but he's going to have to. And what this does do, really, it makes everybody think twice and go, right, okay, I've got to up my game, which is good news for Manchester United at least, isn't it? Won't we need to sign 2 strikers if Højlund goes? Yes. This is where it gets interesting. So let me just go through all of the news and everything that's happening. Let's just check. Right, just spare with me a second, everybody, because there is a absolute ton of news piling in right now. So I'm just trying to get through everything. Ben Jacobs says, money has never been the main issue at all for Bruno Fernandes. Yes, this was retweeted by Sully before, which is quite significant as well. It was never a problem. He made it clear. He made it clear to the board he wants to stay and be here for the rebuild, and will only leave if the club tells him to. So is Bruno staying? I think he's staying. He's not going to go to another club in Europe, I don't think. But yeah, I mean, when you look at the potential for what else can happen. Now, don't forget, Al Hilal have reportedly been interested in Alejandro Garnacho as well. So let's not forget that deal could actually have legs as well now. If Bruno has decided, and this isn't Manchester United, this isn't Al Hilal dealing with Manchester United, so there's no fallout between clubs here. United have been keeping this clean. They've been doing things professionally. They've left it to Bruno. Bruno has decided he doesn't want to leave, he wants to stay at United, which is fine. There's no fallout. So maybe Al Hilal come back in for Alejandro Garnacho. That could be a possibility. So let's look at where we're at the moment. If, for instance, the price is what is being reported for Bryan Mbeumo at 50 million, 62.5 for Matheus Cunha. So Manchester United there, we're at what, 111 million euros pretty much, isn't it? That's where we're at. 112, sorry. 112 million quid for them 2 players. If Alvaro leaves, which is obviously happening, that's what, 15 to 20 million back in. Then if Jadon Sancho leaves, that's 25 million. So you're looking there about 40 million minimum between Alvaro and Jadon Sancho coming back in, which is significant. That brings the net spend down even more. And then you're talking about Garnacho. So Alvaro gone, Sancho gone, Garnacho gone. I think we can pretty much guarantee that that is going to happen this summer. Then you're pretty much covering, near enough, majority of these 2 number 10 signings. Bruno Fernandes staying, I think, definitely stops Manchester United going hell-bent on bringing the number 8 in. Although, remember the report from yesterday that we were talking about? Actually, it might have been the day before. There's been that much news going on. Gonçalves is a target for Manchester United with or without Bruno Fernandes. And United will look to buy an 8 even if Bruno stays. Now, that would be where I think Kobbie is done. Right now, not quite out of the door. I'm at a 50-50 with Kobbie right now. A lot of people, and I agree with what people are saying and why they would say it in the chats, as a few of you have actually said it, in that that's the end of Kobbie Mainoo now that Bruno is staying at Manchester United. I still feel like there's a half a chance for Kobbie in here. If they go out and buy a number 8, he's done. I don't see where he fits in at all. I've always said that I worry for Kobbie Mainoo because I don't see where he fits in a Ruben Amorim system. I don't think he does fit in to Ruben's rule and Ruben's formation. But yes, actually, is that news real? I'm just getting something coming through now. Actually, this cannot be all in one morning, surely. Right. I'm just checking now. I've just seen something here. Right, okay, so going off, I'm just going to read through everything that's in front of me so you know where I'm at. Obviously, we just had the breaking news on Bruno Fernandes, so that's come through. Laurie Whitwell, Ruben Amorim is a major admirer of Victor Gyökeres, while Antoine Semenyo has also been looked at. Victor Osimhen expected wages have been seen as prohibitive, but there could be a revolution on there could be a revaluation on the striker. This from Laurie Whitwell that's just come out on the striker side of things. Let me just see. I've just seen some other news popping up as well. Yeah, Bruno Fernandes is taking the majority of the news right now. There's that much to get through. But there is more breaking news that has come out in the last 12 minutes. I've just found it now. Separately, Chelsea have told Manchester United that they are willing to sign Jadon Sancho on a permanent basis. And this move is expected to now progress from Graham Bailey. That's too much. It's too much. It's a lot for an early morning. I had a few drinks last night. Woke up with a bit of a headache this morning. I'm not gonna lie, but this is actually a lot to get through right now. This is the type of summer that I was expecting. If that is right from Graham Bailey and Jadon Sancho is going to stay at Chelsea, as well as Bruno Fernandes deciding to stay this morning, Bryan Mbeumo deciding that he wants Manchester United, and that deal's going to get done as well. That's head exploding stuff, that, isn't it? For a news show early doors in the morning, eat before breakfast. That's a lot. That is a lot to digest. I don't even think I'm going to need breakfast this morning with this amount of news coming through. My God. But yes, that's Graham Bailey on Sancho saying that it looks like he's going to stay. There's nothing fully confirmed on that yet. The definites are Bryan Mbeumo and Bruno Fernandes for now. There is a lot of talk on Rasmus Højlund last night as well. And that takes us into the situation with obviously needing 2 strikers. Like if Rasmus goes and the... just to bring up what the actual news was with Rasmus Højlund was that Inter Milan are hoping to sign Rasmus Højlund on loan this summer with an obligation to make it a permanent deal in 2026. So the move for Højlund would see him leave this summer and then a fee come in next summer. What does that then mean for Manchester United and what we've got at number 9? And what our options are at number 9. That changes everything because, yes, it's all right getting the 10s in. Joshua Zirkzee on his own is nowhere near enough. Kaz has just dropped a coffee in as well. What an absolute legend. Oh, my God, I can't even tell you how much that is needed right now. Wow. Okay, right. So, get into the comment section on the striker side of things as well. Give me your thoughts on that news from Graham Bailey that has just come out regarding Jadon Sancho looking likely to stay at Chelsea. 25 million in the bag on that, like we just said with Alvaro. So that should be approximately 40 million between Alvaro and Sancho going into what Manchester United are doing transfer-wise. If you sell Garnacho on top of that, you're pretty much covering the majority of Mbeumo and Cunha already. And remember, like I just said a moment ago, I got excited because the coffee came, that Ruben Amorim promised massive changes this summer, huge changes this summer. I didn't expect it to be as crazy as this is right now in the opening days of this transfer window. I'm going to get into some comments in here. B33 says, Cunha and Mbeumo will be paid in instalments, like everybody is, mate. It always does. We have room to play with. Just sell the rest, then bums. Get a striker, a central midfielder and goalkeeper. We can still keep Bruno Fernandes. Jay Lignition says, Bailey said United wanted to swap Sancho for Kudus. I didn't see that one, mate, but yeah, I think Kudus is on his way to the Saudi Pro League anyway. I've actually accepted Bruno going now. I would have just sold him. This board is incompetent unless they have found a stash of money behind the couch. I wouldn't say incompetent, mate, to be honest. I mean, look at what's actually happening right now. Look at all of the moves that Manchester United are making. I would definitely not be calling them incompetent right now. They haven't been involved in Bruno Fernandes, have they? It's been his decision. So, yeah, if he wanted to go, then I think United would happily sell him. But if he doesn't, they're not going to get rid of the captain and the one player that has been standout for this club over the last few years. Amarim is moving Cunha to the 8th position, Bruno 10. I don't think that will be true. I've seen a report on that, Super Arch. That's never going to happen because Matheus Cunha has not got the running stats, and this is all data-driven analysis as to why players are coming in. He hasn't got the running stats that Bruno has. There's not a chance that Cunha plays at 8 ahead of Bruno Fernandes. Bruno has legs at least. Cunha doesn't. And that's something that you need to look at with Cunha as well, because he isn't that player that's going to bust a gut up and down. His work rate isn't like others, is what we're saying. He brings a different type of quality. But at 8, 100% no, in my opinion. You can't compete. Thank you for the gifted membership, my friend. It is absolutely crazy in the chat this morning, everyone. Let's see what else we've got in here. Adam, will we sign ENQUIRIES after Mbeumo? This is where it's getting a little bit interesting now with what's happening with Manchester United. And like I said, with the news, quickly, just on that little bit of news from Graham Bailey as well that came out. Manchester United and West Ham had talks over a swap deal involving Jadon Sancho and Mohamed Kudus. Sancho was open to the switch to West Ham, while Kudus was eager to make the transfer to Manchester United. However, West Ham management team were unsure about Jadon Sancho's fit into their system, and talks broke down. I don't even know if that was genuine or not. I really don't care. I thought Kudus was going to the Saudi Pro League anyway, like I said. Let's see what now. Ruben Amorim wants an athletic number 8 type midfielder, while strengthening in the wing-back area is on the agenda, says Laurie Whitwell. I cannot agree with that. I can't. How many players do you need if you are only playing Premier League and domestic football this season? You don't need this many players. I understand that 8 if other players are leaving, but this squad does not need to be that big. And this just goes to show, if what Laurie Whitwell is saying is true, and you were working for the Athletic, you would think there was an element of truth in that. So if we're bringing in an 8, we're looking at a striker, we've got 2 10s lined up, and he wants a wing-back as well. Who's going? I said this morning, like the first show I was preparing today was a mass exodus of Manchester United. To talk about Rasmus, we've gone over his situation and what Inter Milan are proposing. That would mean United needed 2 strikers as well if Rasmus left. Because I understand the fast tracking of Chido, and he's good and his potential. I think Manchester United, what we're looking at, maybe we need 1 striker with Xerxes and Chido behind him, and possibly Cunha and Mbeumo doing a role in there when necessary, because we haven't got many games. Worst case scenario, maybe it is a striker, an 8 and a wing back. I still think Manchester United, and Simon Jones was saying that Andre Onana is going to be sold this summer as well as Kobbie Mainoo. So I didn't even speak about Kobbie, but the report was there this morning that he is actually on the out list for Manchester United. People were talking in the chat that the news that broke with us this morning about Bruno staying was indeed the final nail in the coffin for Kobbie Mainoo. And I get that. I do believe that could be the case, but I would need another midfielder to come in to be convinced that Kobbie's leaving. And now I've just seen what Laurie Whitwell has said. I'm thinking Kobbie Mainoo is done. Because if we are looking for an energetic midfielder, it just means that he doesn't trust anybody in this team, apart from the obvious. And them obviouses are obviously Lenny Yoro, Ahmad, Bruno. There's a few others in there that are probably just clinging on, but his surefire definites are definitely Bruno, Ahmad and Lenny Yoro. I would think he would trust in De Ligt still. Maguire is probably one player he would lean to. Aiden Heaven, he talks nothing but positively about. Obviously, Dorgu is his player he brought in. So yeah, that's how I see it at the moment. Bruno staying is bad news. Terrible performance in the final. Does not look after the ball. Rebuild won't happen now. It's happening, mate. We're just about to buy 2 10s. So this is a rebuild. And Bruno, like we said before, with better players around him, I think will be a better Bruno than he has been over the last few seasons, which isn't pretty bad, is it, to be honest? Cobby has been negotiating his contract before all of this. Yeah, Cobby is an issue with Ruben Amorim. I've been going on about this. I've covered Cobby Mainoo SK in detail, mate, about this contract and the failing to sign a new contract for him. It's been an ongoing saga for the last 9 months, Cobby Mainoo. So he's always been a problem, like SK says there. He's right. This is just what was always possibly going to happen anyway. I was trying to defend Cobby Mainoo and think that he had a spot in Man United's side if he was willing, going off these reports from this week, earlier this week, that he was going to be trying to be transformed into a different type of player. If, like I said, if what Laurie Whitwell is saying, and Man United are going out for an 8, then I do feel like it could be the end of Cobby Mainoo. 100% this could be the end of him. Could Bruno staying have something to do with it being a World Cup year next year? I doubt it, because Ronaldo walks into that Portugal side, so does Cancelo. They're both in the Saudi Pro League. I don't think it would have mattered for Bruno if he went there. I think he would have still been in the World Cup side for Portugal over in the US in 2026. So yeah, I think it is. I think it would have been the same, really. I didn't think it had any significance at all in his decision. A boxing singing the Bruno song there. Bruno loses the ball because he is the only player trying to pass the ball forward more often than not. I agree with that one, MF. It's a great comment. Bruno cost us 100 million giving the ball away for Spurs' goal. No, he didn't. Like, Bruno was the reason we actually got into that final as well, let's not forget, and the importance that he played, the role that he played in that final. So you cannot say that off the back of one game. Seriously, Mark, come on, mate. There's more to it than that, buddy. It's about attitude as well as ability that makes a footballer top class, and it's what we need in this squad after that terrible display in the final. Yes, Andrew, it is. And look, Bruno was at fault in that final, like everybody else. But I'm not about to damn Bruno Fernandes because of one performance in a Europa League final. That's just not where it's going to be for me. But honestly, I look at Bruno and I think with better players around him in this Man United side, I think you can rebuild with Bruno. I understand the fee. We're not going to get that money again for Bruno. A decision needed to be made this summer. I don't see United being able to sell Bruno again now. I don't know, maybe next year if we don't get into any form of European football. But Bruno's saying that he wants to play at a highest level in European football means that he's seen out his Man United contract to me. That's how I see it, because we're not in Europe this season, so there's 1 year. You're going to be 32 starting the season after. And if United are not in Europe then, maybe he makes a decision on it then. But who's going to come for him at that price again in that season? Bruno Fernandes is fully, I think, with the players that we're bringing in. Let's not forget, we're in the position now where Cunha is in and Mbeumo is coming in. This already is a miles better Manchester United side. If United do go out and buy a 9, a quality one, and by the way, the story is that Gyökeres is coming to England. That's it. There's nothing else on top of that. There's a few of them little stories floating around right now. And it is a, I think, possibility. Don't know. I don't know who United are going to go for the 9, is my honest answer. We talked about Mateta last night being an option for United, and United talking to Crystal Palace on that one. And I think a 9, an 8, and if we do get a wing back as well, my God, we are going to have to get rid of at least 10 to 12 players if we're going to bring them signings in. Because there's no room for Garnacho, there's no room for Mainoo, I don't think there's any room for Casemiro. Obviously, you're looking then like, if you're going to bring in a right wing back, where does Dalot play? You've got an abundance of centre-backs. You're talking Sancho, you're talking Rashford, you're talking Anthony, all leaving as well. is massive. If you're getting rid of Rasmus, there's another Anana, there's another question mark there. There is an awful lot to get through in terms of what Manchester United need to do in the out column as well. It really is. Right, okay, let's have a look at everything that has actually happened from the top of the show right the way to where we are right now. And that is quite a lot. So at the start of the show, we was just talking about the update from Florian Plettenberg regarding Bryan Mbeumo, that a verbal agreement, personal terms, done. And this will now move fast between Brentford and Manchester United. About 6 or 7 minutes into the show, we got the breaking news. Bruno Fernandes has rejected Al Hilal's offer and proposal. He is staying at Manchester United. Or the words from Romano was that he wants to compete at a high European level. That got many people thinking, could Bruno go elsewhere in Europe, because United are playing domestic football only next season. We will see on that one. Graham Bailey has come out and said it's now looking likely that Jadon Sancho is going to be staying at Chelsea, and negotiations are moving forward on that department. So that was Bryan Mbeumo verbal agreement, that was Bruno staying and Jadon Sancho leaving for Chelsea, all in the first 30 minutes of the show. We were talking about the proposal from Inter Milan for Rasmus Højlund, that being that Rasmus Højlund is a top target for Inter Milan. Their proposal was that he goes on loan this season with an obligation to buy in 2026. That's what they're proposing. So that's led to, obviously, talk of Manchester United needing more than one number 9 now going forward. Or is it a case of bringing a top quality number 9 who's going to play the majority of the games, which there aren't a lot of next season because we're not in Europe, with Xerxes and Chido behind him? Is that enough for a domestic campaign? Some would argue probably yes. But we will see, won't we? And we'll see if that develops on the striker side of things. On the striker side of things, in terms of United targets, AC Milan are interested in Mateta as well. So that news is coming out. Victor Gyökeres is coming to England by all accounts, and that's coming from Portuguese reports. No name of club or where he is going. It is just a little cryptic, he's on his way to England type of message. We know that Chelsea are buying Ekitike. We know that Arsenal are bidding for Benjamin Sesko. United not out of the equation for Benjamin Sesko yet. And this all leads to the actual rumour about Kobbie Mainoo leaving Manchester United, which Simon Jones from the Daily Mail was talking about before we started all of the show this morning, that he is out of Manchester United along with Garnacho. If you're raising over 100 million for both of them players, which you'd expect it to be, then you would definitely have money to go out and buy a top striker. And money doesn't seem to have really caused the issue with Manchester United so far in this window. They're confident they'll be able to afford the players that they want. It's convincing the players to come to United off the back of only having domestic football. And that, so far, seems to be going very well with the likes of Cunha. And the main story from the last few days, is it the main story actually from the last few days? Because Bruno seems to have top trumped Bryan Mbeumo now. Let me know what you think is bigger and more important as well in that. Obviously, we've been on tour and we've been out on location for a lot of this breaking news, but the normal shows continue, and that does continue with our sponsors as well. The QR code at the bottom corner of your screen there is for our match sponsored Match Bingo. Scan that QR code and get a special offer now for new customers. If you deposit £5, then you get another £10 on top of that, everybody. Also, make sure that you do look at all of the extra games that are there daily as well. It's only £2 to go. We've had several members of Forever United TV win big money already. It's just simple Match Bingo card. Match events from throw-ins to goals to corners, time of goals, everything like that. So you get a line, it's like in bingo, you win a prize. 2 lines, another prize. If you hit the jackpot and get all 15 match card events ticked off, then you hit the jackpot, which is upwards of 300 million. 300 million, my God, sorry, no, 300 quid most of the time. Sorry, I'm not paying you that amount of money, but yeah, get involved, everybody. Thank you again, Match Bingo, for sponsoring us. We're going to run it through this summer as well for the Club World Cup and some of the internationals. So get involved now. All the games are on there this morning, everybody. Scan the QR code or hit that link in the description on Match Bingo, everybody. Thank you again to them. Let's get through a few more comments on this. Bruno is the total Manchester United legend, says Jigger Stool, is that? Terso says Mbeumo is important. Is that supposed to say important? I don't know if that is actually a word. Mbeumo more important defo than Bruno Fernandes. I think people looking forward to the future of Manchester United here now with most of this. And looking at the Bryan Mbeumo, Matheus Cunha, this is the future of Manchester United. This is where we're at. And I feel like it is important to remember that Bruno has been here and has been part of a failing Manchester United side. We cannot forget that. We cannot forget that. I do think that Bruno has got the raw end of the stick, though, in all of this. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Bruno can do with better players around him. It's a massive season for Bruno Fernandes, this now. He really does have to, I'm not going to say knuckle down and do better because he has been doing well. But I think he has to change. I think he has to adapt his game now. He's coming into that age where he cannot do what he wants to do all of the time. I'm not saying he hasn't got the fitness or he hasn't got the energy, but Bruno has to adapt like everybody else. And hopefully the message from Ruben isn't just for the new players and everybody else. Bruno doesn't get away with this. Bruno has a lot of changing to do. But that man and that mentality in this team with better players and Ruben Amorim getting a full pre-season with a miles better squad because we're moving so quickly in the transfer window and getting these deals done early, I'm all for that. I'm all for that and some. Akash with the super chats. Thank you, buddy. We needed Bruno sold to rebuild the squad. I still think we can rebuild the squad, mate. I really do. By the way, everybody, just under 700 live likes. That is absolutely crazy. Brilliant again. Massive effort from you all. Thank you so much for the likes. Please do give the video a like if you are loving the content and the updates. It's been an absolute barnstormer of a morning show so far, hasn't it? It really has hit all record numbers because of the news and the significance of the news that we've had. It has been so good. Thank you everybody who has contributed as well, by the way, throughout the show. I'm just going to run through a few more of your comments. So get your say in now. Pile into the comment section, people, and give us your thoughts on this. Like I said before, with Bruno now not going to Al Hilal, one of Manchester United's midfield targets, Ederson, is more than likely going to end up going the opposite way. This has been reported. Ederson, I don't think will end up at Manchester United. I think United's midfield options are elsewhere now. So targets that we have talked about in the number 8 role could be disappearing just because of this news. We know that Joe Bellingham's now going to Dortmund anyway. Ederson is probably going to end up going to Saudi Pro League at Al Hilal. He is their next target. By the way, Filippo Inzaghi to Al Hilal as manager. That is significant news as well, isn't it? That could be big. I thought something like that might have convinced Bruno Fernandes, in fact, to go. But no, Bruno is a stayer. Bruno is staying at Manchester United. And that is the biggest news of the show so far. Bruno stays. We need a pre-season with new players and Bruno especially. That is true. Bruno is crap and likely to give the ball away all of the time. Never be afraid to miss. That's all I'll say on that one. Be brave enough. Gyökeres just makes sense in every way. You know what? If United went out and bought Victor Gyökeres now, then I'd be saying, and this is an absolute shout, by the way, if we bought Gyökeres, we've got Cunha, we've got Mbeumo, I think it not only guarantees top 6, but what it does do is push Manchester United into the top 4 reckoning, I feel. I'm not confident that Gyökeres is going to happen, but if we did make something like that work for United this window with the outgoings as well, that is a completely different side altogether. And that is with the number 8 coming in as well. I need to make that clear. Is Mitrovic a possibility? No, he's not. Sources close to Mitrovic came back on them reports yesterday, by the way, saying that it's very unlikely. He doesn't want to move away from Al Hilal. He's happy where he is. He isn't going to take a pay cut. He's on 400 grand a week. He's not moving anywhere, is he? Let's be honest. So Al Hilal want Ederson now. Bunyaman. I will be here at the end of the season when Bruno costs us again. I will be here. Well, after Bruno consecutively gets plus 30 goal contributions again, you may be clutching at straws, mate. Like that comment is there personally for me. I'm not. You're welcome to your opinion always, but I'd like to be going in on Bruno and Bruno costing us before the season started off the back of what Bruno did this season for us because everybody's jumping on the last game of the season, what happened against Spurs. Yeah, he had a bad game. He had a bad game, but many players had a bad game. And Bruno had many good ones as well that people want to forget about throughout last season. So, no, Bruno Mbeumo, Cunha, I like the look of it. I'm going to wrap up the show there with that one, everybody. 800 live likes in the bag. What an absolutely massive show that was. Thank you, everyone. Absolutely brilliant comments. What a show. Bryan Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes, Jadon Sancho, Rasmus Højlund, Kobbie Mainoo. Comment section below is where you need to be. I'm going to be looking through them comments through breakfast this morning, everybody, seeing what your thoughts are. It's a lot to digest, I know. I'm not talking about my breakfast. I'm talking about all of the Manchester United news right now. I will be having a hearty breakfast though as well, don't worry. But for now, that is it. Mods, to deal with that, absolutely brilliant job. Thank you so much. That was amazing numbers in there again today. Just shy of 4,000 live in the room with us, which is brilliant. I'll see you all later on. I've got a feeling I'm going to be back because today is going to be mental. So I'm not even going to try and give you a schedule today. All I'll say is be prepared. There's probably going to be a shed load of news coming out throughout the day, and I'll be there to cover it all. Thank you, everyone who donated as well on the show. New members, any new subscribers, thank you. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit it now, and then you will be up to date with everything going on with Man United.